Humboldt State University at the Occupy Arcata General Assembly, and show you just a little bit of what's going on right now, and give you an idea of the people here. Certainly a lot more than Reading showing up here, but I don't know if it's because of the setting or whatnot, but we'll see how this goes. I'll try to share it with you as soon as things get started, and it looks like more and more people are coming in here. Let's see what happens. Wow, this place just keeps filling up and filling up. I think we have a very lively Occupy movement here in Arcata, after all.
I think one of the suggestions on this is going to be
There's Trish. We'll be visiting with her later on. She's the young lady who created the Occupy Arcata Facebook page, and one of my first contacts over here. We'll be talking more with her and what she's doing also. And as you can see, there's still a lot of activity going on here. We're supposed to start at 7 o'clock, and there's still people shuffling in here, and I think this is really incredible. I love seeing this. People are waking up and taking to action. We are here at the Humboldt State University, and you can see that there's just a hustle and a bustle here. It was, I mean, Reading was nothing like this, and here we are in small town Arcata, and the people are serious. They do have an encampment outside, and it's kind of dark, so I wasn't able to videotape it, but if you stick with us here, maybe I'll have more. It looks like something really cool is going down here, and I'd like to keep sharing it with the world. I'll come back on in a few, and maybe by then the meeting will have started. Okay, world, here we are. Looks like they're getting stuff started, and people are kind of getting things together. Looks like they're going to show a video. It's called Occupy Wall Street, The Revolution is Love. I know you can't see it, but
this movement isn't about the 99% defeating or toppling the 1%. You know the next chapter of that story, which is that the 99% create a new 1%. That's not what it's about. What we want to create is the more beautiful world our hearts tell us is possible, a sacred world, a world that works for everybody, a world that is healing, a world of peace. You can't just say, we demand a world of peace. Demands have to be specific. Anything that people can articulate can only be articulated within the language of the current political discourse. And that entire political discourse is already too small. And that's why making explicit demands kind of reduces the movement and takes the heart out of it. And so it's a real paradox. And so I think that the movement actually understands that. The system isn't working for the 1% either. You know, if you were a CEO, you would be making the same choices they do. The institutions have their own logic. Life is pretty bleak at the top, too. And all of the baubles of the rich, they're kind of this phony compensation for the loss of what's really important. The loss of community, the loss of connection, the loss of intimacy, the loss of meaning. Everybody wants to live a life of meaning. And today, we live in a money economy where we don't really depend on the gifts of anybody, but we buy everything. Therefore, we don't really need anybody. Because whoever grew my food, or made my clothes, or built my house, well, if they died, or if I alienate them, if they don't like me, that's okay. I can just pay somebody else to do it. And it's really hard to create community if the underlying knowledge is we don't need each other. So people kind of get together and they act nice, or maybe they consume together. But joint consumption doesn't create intimacy. Only joint creativity and gifts create intimacy and connection. have such gifts that are important. Just like every species has an important gift to give to an ecosystem, and the extinction of any species hurts everybody. The same is true of each person, that you have a necessary and important gift to give. And that for a long time our minds have told us that maybe we're imagining things, that it's crazy to live according to what you want to give. But I think now, as more and more people wake up to the truth that we're here to give, and wake up to that desire, and wake up to the fact that the other way isn't working anyway, the more reinforcement we have from people around us that this isn't crazy, this makes sense, this is how to live. And as we get that reinforcement, then our minds and our logic no longer have to fight against the logic of the heart, which wants us to be in service. This shift of consciousness that inspires such things is universal in everybody, 99% and 1%. And it's awakening in different people in different ways. I think love is the felt experience of connection to another being. An economist says that essentially more for you is less for me. But the lover knows that more for you is more for me too. If you love somebody, then their happiness is your happiness. Their pain is your pain. Your sense of self expands to include other beings. That's love. Love is the expansion of the self to include the other. And that's a different kind of revolution. There's no one to fight. There's no evil to fight. There's no other in this revolution. Everybody has a unique calling, and it's really time to listen to that. That's what the future is going to be. It's time to get ready for it and to help contribute to it and make it happen.
I just want to thank everyone for being here tonight. It's fantastic. So great to see so many faces that have been working so hard and putting themselves on the line for what I believe is the greatest cause of humanity in our age. But this is it. This is our opportunity to do something to change the world for the better. My name is Travis Turner. I'm with Occupy Humboldt, and I'll be moderating tonight's event. So I want to go over the process of the Humboldt GA so everybody knows. Our Humboldt GAs are not about bickering, they're not about arguing, they're about getting things done. And hopefully that inspires every one of you to know that things can happen in Humboldt County. There are things that we can do in Humboldt County to make the world a better place. For not just all the people in this room, but all the people everywhere. Humboldt County has always been kind of the tip of the spear. Just this little nestled place in Northern California has been the tip of the spear when it comes to so many things. And I think it's right that we continue to be the tip of the spear and lead the charge and do some really great things for our communities, for our planet, for people everywhere. And so that's hopefully what we're here to do tonight. So go over the rules of our GA. There are three key people. One is the moderator, myself. The second person is the staffer. The staffer will be running this floor right here, and he'll be putting you in a stack if you want to speak. So he'll give you a number. He'll point directly at you when your hand's up, and he'll give you a number. That number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep track of where you are in the stack. We really try not to tolerate somebody interrupting somebody else because we feel it's disrespectful. We really try not to tolerate loud outbursts and people being interruptive and disruptive because we feel like it disrupts this process. So if you have something to say, put your hand up and get yourself in the stack. If you feel that whoever is talking is rambling or repeating the same idea constantly, we use this to tell you that point of process. Get back on topic. So if everyone wants to try this real quick, let's hear point of process. There you go. If you have a clarifying question for the person who's speaking at that moment, just raise your hand over your head in a C. So it's for a clarifying question. If you have a point of information, you want to raise your hand about what somebody's talking about. You want to raise your hand, your finger in the air. Now, a point of information or a clarifying question is 1 or 2 sentences. It it doesn't open up discussion to the whole floor. You just ask what time is it? For a good question. Somebody can give you a direct answer. If you have a philosophical question about the outcome of the Civil War or something like that, it's probably not something that's going to be covered here tonight. So, so please keep your, there's a lot of us here, keep what you have to say very short and precise. Think about what you're going to say before you say it, and that way this runs a lot smoother. There's also a vibe squad, and they're sitting amongst you right now. So if someone gets angry, feels like they get stepped on, if someone feels that they didn't get their point across, that vibe squad's going to go around and mingle with that person and get them right on the right level and get their vibes back up. So once again, I really appreciate everyone being here. I really appreciate what you're going to input tonight. I think anytime you can get a group of people in a humongous circle all talking about changing their environment for the good of everybody in their community, absolutely nothing can go wrong. So again, I appreciate you being here. How our format goes, we start out with introductions. I don't know how that's going to go, but if someone can just say your name super fast and yell it out super clear as we go around the circle, that would be fantastic.
Hi everybody, I'm Aaron. Nicholas.
Verbena. Carrie. Sherelle.
Or you can just yell out your name. Scott. Justin.
I'm Granny.
Rob.
Susan. Robin. Gay. Eileen. Gabby.
Rob. Devin. Dave. Bryn. Rudy.
Nezzy.
Knack. Eric.
Heather.
Sir, right behind you.
Daniel. Hans. Richard. Michael.
Cherie.
Tony. Tim. Adam.
You in the back right there? What is it? Steve.
Tim.
Joanne.
Tina. Sam.
Steven.
Heather. Morgan.
Mo.
Jan.
Jim.
That's Justin who just waved the
Matt.
mic away. Good guy.
He already said his name. I want to say my name twice.
Brian.
Sam. Hannah.
Calvin. Hemingway. Dylan G.
Mariah.
John.
Sylvia. Karen. Alexis.
Daniel. Evan. Larry. Lauren.
Rebecca.
Charles.
Julia. Trish.
Dave. Rick.
Laura.
Robin. Mel. Dennis. Jerry. Mark. Jack.
Lois.
Alex.
Carolyn. Desiree.
Dan. David. Dave. Arts between.
Kathy.
Steve.
Right on. Thank you, everybody. Give yourself a big hand. Woo-hoo! You want to put a few more hand signals in your occupation vocabulary, but we got a better word for that. If you agree with something, instead of cheering or applauding, holding up the process, we wave our hands up in the air like this. If you have no feelings at all about whatever's being said, you can put your hands out in front of you. And if you absolutely disagree, you can put your hands straight down. When and if we vote tonight on consolidating our local occupations, the signal that you would want to do that, raise your hands above your head. And if you absolutely disagree, you cross your arms. And this is free association, so absolutely no one has to be here, and everyone can disagree if they want to. Everybody can agree. That's what's so powerful about the occupation movement, is that we're getting back to people having conversations and disagreeing with each other, and then figuring out how to remain in that conversation and keep moving forward. So what we're going to do now after introductions is we have Humboldt County updates. So if anyone immediately has an update they'd like to put out about the occupation as a whole, or something that has come up in the last couple days, or if you have an occupation-related event that's coming up in the next couple days, go ahead and raise your hand.
12/12, which is December 12th, 2011, there's going to be an anti-fascist action-related event that should coincide with the occupation. It's going to be a mobile dance party that will be snaking through Eureka in support of the Occupy Eureka. And the thing about it is that there is a date set and a time set. The issue is that we would like to have it coincide with any events they're going to be having that day. And so I hope if we break into smaller groups, I would like that to become an agenda. That is an announcement currently.
Can you film from here so I can have
We're not going to disrupt any of the commercial industry going on, because that's so important to Humboldt County, and what little left of the industries out here, we kind of want to save, and we want to keep the economy going. That's one of the things you can sign up for. It's non-violent, though. It's a demonstration in solidarity with others who will be closing down ports around the country who have corrupted the oceans and the industries out there.
This is to invite everybody to a forum called Listening to the People. It's going to be December the 9th, Friday, at the Labor Hall. And part of it is still being worked on, but the second half will be drama and democracy mixed. And we hope it's a great time for you.
How does that, Mark?
The event starts at 5:30 with music. But the political part, there's an open meeting between 7 and 8:30. But then at 8:30, it's called Art as a Power Tool. And it will be an event that uses local people to present democracy in a theatrical way that's enjoyable. Kind of like tonight.
Clarification. It's posted on your website on Unify. Can't hear anything over here. No. Is your event posted on Eureka with?
No, it's not posted anywhere. In fact, we're going to have a meeting on Thursday to see if we, and then some other meetings to see if we can really make it happen.
And another clarification? I did receive an email that had a link attached to a video which announced Listen to the People being December 2nd, and it's on Access Humboldt.
It's been moved up a week.
Sorry.
Okay, so I don't know how broadly this has been broadcast in mainstream news media. I just kind of randomly came across it, but apparently there's a bill going through the Senate that will, what would you call it, instate indefinite detention on American soil. So the reasoning is, you know, the battlefield is at home, and so what's going to happen is that anyone, citizen or not, can and will be arrested and detained indefinitely, which it's not cool, and definitely is a really scary thought, and I think that we should all write to the senators, which you can do from the ACLU website. So yeah, just putting that out there.
We are on events right now. That can be something that can be brought up when we reach discussion. Next week, Hans.
Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, there is court for, I know, at least 2 of the people that got arrested.
Sorry about that. Why don't we do the people's mic? People's mic! Yeah, people's mic. If you just say that in speak, I can hear you.
Me and a young lady is having court tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and if anybody would like to show up, I know that after the courtroom was packed for myself, they let me out legal service, so need to help.
What time is that?
2 o'clock tomorrow.
You know your room, Hans?
Courtroom 1, second floor.
Thursday, December 1st, we're having a campus wide day of dialogue about the Occupy movement. All faculty are called to open a 5-minute dialogue in their classrooms, sparked by the question, what is the Occupy movement? And then at 7:30 that evening, we're having a screening of the film Corporation. Either it's going to be at the UC Quad or it's going to be in a room that we're going to rent. So show up to the UC Quad, and then if you're coming to see the film, 7:30.
I'm hearing impaired, and there are other people in here who can't hear, so I would request that anybody who has an announcement that they would like to be heard by all, would you please stand and project your voice, because we can't hear without a microphone.
And let's try to keep the mic.
See if the mic works.
Until then, let's pretend we're in Mexico.
Mic check! Mic check! Mic check!
On Thursday, December 1st,
Thursday, December 1st.
we are having an event
We are having an event
called the Campus-Wide Day of Dialogue.
called the Campus-Wide Day of Dialogue.
All faculty
All faculty
are called to open
are called to open
December the 3rd,
On December the 3rd,
Richardson Grove.
Richardson Grove,
Action Now.
Action Now
Is presenting a presentation.
is presenting a presentation
At 2 p.m.
at 2 p.m.
At the Occupy Eureka site.
at the Occupy Eureka site in Eureka at the courthouse.
Richardson Grove Action
Speak for
Now
themselves.
Richardson Grove Action Now
was a group started by
our community
to raise awareness
about Richardson Grove. Right now, there is a highway expansion plan in Richardson Grove. We need to stop it.
We need to stop it.
Is it working now? Oh, we got mics.
On Thursday, December 1st at 5 p.m., the County Courthouse, Room A, the Humboldt County Human Rights Commission is meeting. It's an organization not known for much action, but they are considering reviving their Observer Committee, which was active during the Timber Wars and interceded on a number of occasions between the police and demonstrators. They are also considering the issue of bathrooms in Humboldt County. I encourage you to be there and express your interest in both of these issues.
Time and date again?
5 p.m. Thursday, Humboldt County Courthouse, Room A.
Occupy Humboldt has just gone through a tough week of 10 days, and I'm happy to report we're back. We sent a car to Portland and a car to Oakland, and a lot of people went home for Thanksgiving, and we had some real difficult times. I'm happy to report that our stable crew is arriving back and intact.
One more sign-up sheet back there, specifically for events, that is going to involve, I think the consensus, though it may change, was a World Peace Day in honor of the holidays. Since Christmas, during certain wars, it was a time to put down the guns and to share a meal with your enemies or your supposed enemies, and realize that they're people too. Even if the fighting goes on after that, that is being planned now. It will be later this month, and as much help as possible to bring some cheer, no matter what denomination you're from. It would be good for you to be involved with that.
Can we use the people's mic? Are you guys down there?
Yeah, slows us down.
Okay, you guys are over there. All right. It was pretty cool while it was happening. So Saturday, December 10th is the Anarchist Book Fair out in Manila. Yeah, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., you know, during the time that the bus runs. There's going to be food all day, and Knee-High Pup Company, and a bunch of really cool workshops. Of concern to occupiers. You know, like Crime Thinks, they're doing a workshop on work, you know, capitalism, what is it, and how do we fight it. It's going to be cool. Anyways, come out.
Several clarifying questions.
And Hans and I have, perhaps other people, they're on a little schedule that you can add all these things to. They're on that table. behind Robin over here. And those 2 dates are Friday and Monday, December. So Friday, the 2nd of December, we might get a cop up on the stand, and then Monday, December 5th.
Actually, that reminds me as well, my court date is actually December 12th, and that is at 8 a.m. I'm not sure which courtroom that is in, but you're more than welcome to fill the room for me as well.
And just to clarify, these court dates are all stemming from police action against Occupy Eureka on 3 different occasions. Over 33 people have been arrested. More than 33 people have been arrested. More than 50 people have been arrested in Eureka since the occupation in front of the courthouse laws began.
I just want to clarify one thing. There's a lot of people who got different court dates on a piece of paper, but we actually won't know until like 2 days before everybody's dates. So the ones that Hans and I have are for sure, but the ones that lots and lots of people have, like Talby just said and Jake just said, is like we won't really know till right before, so you gotta keep your ears open for that.
December 19th is one I know a lot of people have, including myself. Court date, I don't know what time or anything yet, but the 19th.
Is that it for events? Nobody can hear you without the mic.
Last night, around 2:30 a.m. after bar hour, I was sitting in a doorway rolling a cigarette about to walk to sleep, and there was a woman. She is a blonde girl, and I don't know what it was, the police pulled her over on the road, the main road across from the theater, and she was screaming and making quite a cry. And there was 4 cop cars for one early 20-something-year-old woman, and I asked the sergeant what she was arrested for, and he wouldn't tell me. He just kept saying she broke the law. And he said if I ask any more questions, I'll go to jail. And there's 4 cop cars there. And I had the plate of the car she was in. That's not anywhere near due process of law. And it's just going to get more draconian the more they don't. These amendments are supposed to be around, or changed so they're around. But court tomorrow is important. She's a blonde woman in her early 20s, and it is just really tanked how they handled it. Thank you.
And we are doing event updates at the moment. Everything will get covered, but do we have any other events?
All right, so the reason we're all here tonight is to talk about consolidation. There is more power in numbers. We all agree to that. And to talk about what's the next step for the occupation movement in Humboldt County. So what I want to do is break up into, they call them breakout groups. And so everyone sitting at these tables right here, and maybe you 4 gentlemen right here could get together and have a breakout group. And then everybody in this section right here, all the way back, if you could come up kind of right here and bring some chairs and talk. And there's 2 things, the pros and cons about consolidating and where the movement's going to go. We're going to do this for 10 minutes. And if everybody right here, from here over, can get into a group, and then everyone in these tables, if you could move up and come to this group right here, to this young lady in the white beanie. Okay. All right here to this young man in the purple scarf. And then all of these people right here up to right here. And then everybody on the front row over
over to where we ended up at, if you guys can all get into a group together as well. And so we're going to take 10 minutes just to talk about that. Pick a point person in your group that will stand up afterwards and let us know what you came up with. Thanks. And if you guys can choose a moderator and a stacker inside that group, that'd be great.
This size about right here?
Just there.
Everybody, we're in a breakout group right now, and we're talking about putting the three different Humboldt County cities that are separate and combining them and unifying them into one movement in the Humboldt County area. So they're going to talk about it, and I'll share that with you now.
Well, two things. We got a logistics fallacy. South coming up to the north and vice versa. So it's a lot of our people have very limited transportation. So I see a value in maintaining to some degree the autonomy of at least Eureka and Humboldt Arcata. And incidentally, I don't know, can anybody update us the status of Arcata? It's no longer at the City Hall. It went different place.
As you can see, it's kind of hard to hear, so I'm going to go ahead and save it for when the mics are up and all the moderators are down. This is what it looks like now. Everybody's separated into groups.
Questions real quick that I heard in our group, and then we'll send it around. Raise your hand, get the stack, either Jerry or Carolyn. We got two stackers to get y'all lined up. One, when we're talking about consolidation, we're not talking about consolidating into a specific site. We're just talking about consolidating for the purpose of clarity of message, direct action, and that sort of thing.
So just to, I mean, I have this question, and then I also have this question in the sense of process. Who decides what that means? If people want to, you know what I mean? Like we just had this discussion, and then it was announced that it didn't mean this. It means this, and we had a whole discussion about what that meant to us and what we. So I think if we're really democratic, then we're asking people what they want, not saying we're having this discussion and here's the parameters of it. But I don't mean that with any offense. But.
Hi everybody, my name is Mel. I'm on a Unity walk across America, and this is exactly what I wanted to hear about, because you're talking about consolidation, and you're also talking about autonomy. And I started up in Tacoma, Washington about, on October 2nd. I walked all the way to Eugene, and I've hit a couple of the Occupies from there to here. I've been to the Reading Occupy, I've visited the Eureka Occupy, did a couple of interviews over there. Got videos up on YouTube showing what's going on in Eugene, what's going on in Corvallis, what happened in Reading, and of course this is going to be up as well as everybody else putting stuff up. But I've got people that are watching me right now, and about 6,000 friends on Facebook who are interested in what's going on around the world, and growing membership in the Unity Walk that I'm walking across America with. And what I've seen is that there is a unity beginning to grow between all of the occupies. I see them contacting people in Eugene, people contacting in Eureka, people contacting all over the place. But what I am seeing that's really the most successful is that each little niche, each little city has got their own general assemblies. Now, whether or not you're going to use this unity as a way to have better numbers in each city, which I highly recommend, but the fact that you can maintain the autonomy at the same time is a a holographic message that we're sending to the people in control that you can break us up over here, but you're not going to necessarily break us up over there, and everything will still continue. You unify, but you maintain your autonomy and your uniqueness in each city. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
I definitely see Occupy as a human organism, so I don't want to break it into any type of political view, be it communist, be it democratic, be it republic. But what I would like to say, and what I would like to share, is that formation of a group that can have meetings, not always this size or this large, but consistent GAs that can distribute resources to other sites would be fantastic, and the sooner the better. In that way, I would really appreciate some resources coming to the Humboldt site in order to have, at least an initial consolidation before maybe a twin group comes off into Arcata or Eureka or anywhere. But I feel that working with what we have is best for right now.
I was wondering what happened to the representatives from the group and why we don't put them on the stack and get them going. Would that be possible?
So who's first over in this area?
To the best of my ability, I took notes from everything that was said and tried to put it into the quickest paragraph that I could possibly do, so I do apologize if anybody has any clarification. Please stand up, let me know if I missed anything. Necessary to the function of the movement as a whole, consolidation. Using education to raise awareness of our group and individual skills, drawing folks in and integrating their abilities to fuel resources that would bolster direct actions against corporate and state apparatus that influence our lives directly. Using creative actions to pull together a stronger consensus towards where we stand in the eyes of the public, the media, the state, and the financial giants that influence the economic and political structure that we live in. Maintain info boost to continue the awareness of these actions as well as decisions made by the General Assemblies. Decentralization as a means of unity, organizing by skill and ability, county, state, countrywide, as well as tribally. Thank you. That's what we came up with.
Before we move on to clarification, does anyone else in that group have anything else to add?
I'm very happy to be here, and it's great to hear people's ideas. But let's get down to brass tacks. We want to consolidate, that's really good. But who is physically going to be at the places we ask to be? I mean, you can preach to the choir. You are. We're all talking about things we all agree with. But who is really going to be at the places we want them to be? Who is going to say, hey, I am occupied?
Hello. So I'm not a fan of representative democracy either, but I'll do my best. So the ideas that the group here was talking about was basically started out with some of the benefits of consolidation. One of them is that some physical occupations are not as solid as others, and if they're getting broken up or they need help, it allows other people to come help, or for the people who are occupying that one space that gets broken up to move to another, just to basically keep things flowing. Another one is just basic strength in numbers, that if we are working together, we're going to be able to get a lot more done. Also, it was briefly mentioned that people should be willing to drive. I know there's a lot of environmentalists here, myself one of them, but be able to drive to support a social cause, I think, is okay. Then we were talking about where and what consolidation means. So, I guess there was also this idea of where it happens. It doesn't mean that we're all going to be moving together into one spot.
And I think some people say, we're talking about, and this kept coming back throughout the conversation, about the importance of the Eureka site, and how Eureka is the center, the seat of Humboldt County, and that it's a symbolic place, and also B, that it's a visible place, the 101. There's thousands of people driving by every day, and that place is important to maintain. Also, talked about how it's about sharing information, like he was talking about over there. We need to all figure out what we're going to do about the fences that they keep putting up. Someone was talking about, again, what you were mentioning, how do we get people to those locations that are needed? How are we going to get more people to Eureka, to the places where it's the most essential? Some people were talking about how HSU is the safest place to be, but it's not always the most visible. And also, I mentioned that, HSU, we are all here right now on this campus, and yet where are all the students? And how, as students, it's our kind of responsibility. We got to get our own people moving because we have an extremely apathetic generation, and that needs to change. Also, one person was talking about how there might be fears of consolidation as dilution, in that if we have one specific location and start bringing in people from all over, then it kind of changes the vibe. But then he was saying that he doesn't think that's going to happen at all. And he thinks that what's really going to happen is that the more people come from all different places and share ideas, the more integration there's going to be, and the more commonalities we're going to find and be able to work together better. And that we all are, again, going for the same issues. And then we were talking about this stigma between Arcata and Eureka, and how between the school and Arcata and Eureka, and how there's this kind of weird stigma. I don't know it, I've only been here 3 years, but I sense it. And we were talking about if we could use this occupation, use this movement that clearly we all agree upon to break the stigma, to make peace essentially between Arcata and Eureka and get people working together to figure out everything that we have in common, then I think that's a victory in itself. And then we also had a reporter in the group who was talking about a media benefit of consolidation and being able to have one source, one place for information, to where we can all be sending events and things to one site so that there can be lots of people knowing exactly where to go to get stuff, to get information and help out. And finally, they were talking about how linking up with as many organizations, be it nurses or Veterans for Peace or students or just people who live here, linking up with every single organization, trying to get as much unity and commonality as we can.
Well, our group, we didn't really take notes or anything, but I can give you in general terms. Our group, essentially, besides one person, voted that we were against the consolidation. Essentially, we kind of came to the agreement that we are already all together. The Occupy and Eureka and Arcata and here at HSU, we're all together as is now, and to spread out resources and people in Arcata where they can be seen, and Eureka where they can be seen, and here where we have the students coming by. It is what it is as of right now. We like it how it is. I guess if people can maintain in Eureka, then come on down. But as of right now, our group, we weren't for the consolidation.
So I think we were talking about coming together and making action that the rest of the community can get behind, that's cheerful and fun and musical and loud and colorful, stuff that everybody's going to want to join, and that starts to change our bad media image. Things that families can do to participate, because there's a lot of us that can't get arrested or can't sleep out overnight with our young ones. So other ways that families can get involved. Also, occupying foreclosures, getting into doing small things like that, moving from site to site and not having one permanent site. Most of us were for consolidation. I think, I'm probably going to cover most of it. A good idea someone had was to create a events committee to do like a big happy event, and also a media committee to promote those events and counter our bad media. Here, you can fill in the rest.
Yeah, there was some discussion about a media committee where organizations can gather and share resources, because that seems to be a lot of the problem, and putting together really super positive media to get out to the community, working with the assets that we have like Humboldt Access and other organizations like that, that's going to get, I think we discussed a lot too of how are we going to reach these mom and pops in the community. We realize that we have a huge amount of our community that's just waiting to get involved, but they just don't know how, because so many like people like myself have 3 kids, 4 kids, you know, and we have a lot of